All right, so hey everyone, my name is Charlie. This is a new channel that I'm starting out just to talk about business, very little if any editing at all. And I'm just gonna talk about all the lessons I've learned. We'll talk about very specific things. And in this video, I want to talk about how I actually structure my team of about 50 plus people. This is one of my businesses. It's the media business, so it's basically what you're watching right now. It's my other channels. I have a ton of different YouTube channels. They're all very niche ones. Just to give you guys some info about the business, we do $3-4 million a year in revenue. And I've been able to build this business, grow to a team of over 50 people while still maintaining about 78% profit margin. It's definitely has not been an easy task doing this, but I think you guys will get some value in seeing how I structure my team. Because at the end of the day, with business, you need to make profit, right? And I feel like I'm pretty decent at optimizing my team, hiring correctly, hiring overseas, which is the main thing, and just building a very efficient company that runs without me necessarily working. And gives me a ton of free schedule. And I can basically do anything I want during the day. Most of the team is async. They're mostly overseas. They're usually working when I'm sleeping. And for me, this has just been amazing. I prefer it like this. I don't want to run a company that has an office paying $20,000 a month in rent and having to go into the office every day, right? Because for me, that is not total time freedom. I don't want to feel like I have a 9-to-5 job. And yeah, I just feel like that would feel like that. So yeah, I got my trusty vibe board right here. I'm gonna try and do this. And yeah, let's get started. All right. So you might be wondering, team of 50 plus people, why do I even need that many people? Well, my media business is essentially, it's a collection of a ton of very niche channels. We have website building channels, business channels. It's mostly education. So we do a lot of these tutorial review, just educational type videos. And yeah, we pump out a lot of content. I think we've got to be doing at least 200 plus videos, new long form videos per month. And with those, we have a bunch of language channels. So we're translating a bunch of those into different languages, I want to say 5, 6, 7 different languages. We do short form. Yeah, it's just a pretty big operation. So, but yeah, a lot of people they're pretty surprised that the team is so big just for a YouTuber, right? But I sort of view it as a media company. So as far as in terms of how I structure my team, all right, let me move this here. Okay, so the CEO, owner, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be me. So Charlie. I'm Charlie, by the way. I don't know if I introduced myself. Yeah, I've played with many different types of structures. Of course, it's grown over the years. It hasn't been this big all the time. I think just in the last 1 or 2 years, 1 or 1.5 years, we started to really start hiring a lot of people and turning it into a real business. But yeah, right under me is going to be my COO. Okay, so COO, Chief Operations Officer. I think that's what it stands for. Chief Operating Officer. The guy who's my COO, Joey, I actually hired him as my assistant. He was one of my first hires ever, I think back in 2021, 2022. And yeah, he's just been amazing, and he's really just grown with the company. So now he basically runs all the operations, right? So right under me, it's Joey, my COO. And after this, what we do is we have a bunch of different project managers. Now, the way that you run your business might be completely different. Mine is a media business with a very big emphasis on content, right? Making videos. So it might not necessarily match up exactly with yours, but I think this will still give you a pretty decent idea of how I think someone should run a company that's very optimized. under Joey, under the COO, we have a bunch of different project managers. So let me write that here. I think we have 5 different project managers right now. Project manager, basically, you can sort of think of them like as a channel manager. They are assigned different channels, and they basically help manage the rest of the team, which is going to be a pretty big list. Video editors, thumbnail people, writers, website team, bookkeeping, like a lot of stuff like that. So they manage everything. And I feel like this type of structure really allows me to sort of remove myself from the day-to-day operations, where I mostly just need to communicate with my COO. He communicates with the project managers, and then they communicate with the rest of the team. Yeah, so each project manager is responsible for a certain amount of channels, and they are also responsible for certain video editors, making sure all the thumbnails are being done correctly and on time. What else? There's a lot of other positions I can't really think of right now, but let me just draw this out real quick. Yeah, so that is essentially the structure. I don't think there's anything else to really, so let me just write this out. Video editors. Okay, what else? Thumbnail. We have tons and tons of video editors. I don't even know how many, a lot. We have a few thumbnail people. They help create thumbnails across all the different channels. We have a website team. So beyond just the channels, we have websites for most of the channels. The website team, I think it's 2 people right now. They handle all of this, like like working with the writers, just building out the new sites, adding new blog posts, all that like daily website stuff. They handle it. They are way better at that stuff than I am. What else? Writers. Okay. I have a finance person. So I'd say the PMs don't really talk with finance. This is the only position where it's mostly my COO and myself. And this one finance person runs bookkeeping, invoices, what else? Payments, all that stuff. Payroll as well. When you have a big team like this, running payroll takes quite some time, so she is responsible for all of that. And she just does all of it. So it's really, really nice to have one person do this for all of my different companies. Saves me so much time and mental effort that I can, of course, use to brainstorm, start new projects, do like higher ROI stuff like that. Who else do I have on the team? I know I have other people on the team, but I can't really, okay. We have a lot of different hosts. So these are people that are actually filming the videos and are in the videos themselves. We have long form hosts, we have short form hosts. So yeah, most of those people are actually in the US, whereas everyone else on the team, besides Joey, is overseas. And I really want to stress how important this has been for my business. There is zero chance that I would be able to have a team of 50 plus people if I hired in the US. And yeah, the payroll would just be way too high. It wouldn't make any business sense. And a lot of people think like, oh, you're giving up American jobs for overseas, right? But I would not have 50 people on my team if they were all in the US. I probably would have 5. And the real loser is the business, right? My team right now pumps out content for a bunch of different channels. They also help me with my education stuff, any like lead gen, pretty much everything. Well, actually everything. But the thing is, most of the stuff that we're actually working on makes 0 money. Most of the channels are not profitable yet, although I hope they will be soon. We work on a lot of new things, and we're able to test solely because I have such a big team that I can pay, right? If I had a team of 5, we would only be focusing on the things that are currently right now generating money, which is not too much stuff. So by having this big team, I'm able to really grow and scale the business in a way that would be impossible without overseas talent. That's why I think overseas talent are just the biggest business hack you could ever do in business and life. And if you have a business and you're not building an overseas team, like what are you doing, right? You're not optimizing it. I think, it's really growing in popularity. A lot of my friends are starting to hire overseas. All the big S&P 500 companies are doing it, but a lot of small businesses, those who really need it the most, they don't. And having overseas talent makes you be able to hire way faster, a lot more people. And you don't need to have huge revenue numbers to be able to actually build out teams like this. And that's solely because they're overseas talent. You might be wondering, how much do I pay most of my people? It really depends. I'd say $5 to $10 per hour on average. You can get full-time great people in countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Argentina, Mexico for about $800 to $1,500 per month. Really depends on the skill level, experience, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically how I structured this whole team. For me, it's been very efficient to do it this way. I know this is not going to work perfectly if I grow to, let's say, 100 or 200 people on the team. I don't see myself needing that many people just yet. But currently at about 50 people, this has been a really great structure. I have meetings with my COO, right? We have these calls probably every day or so. I talk to him every single day. We also co-work sometimes in person. He's the only person that's like local to here besides some of the hosts. And then at night, what he'll do is he'll have these meetings with the project managers. The time zone difference is pretty interesting. I actually think it's really great because it means that they can be working on things after my COO and I stop working, or basically at the end of our day. So he'll have these meetings with the project managers at the start of their day, their morning, when it's our nighttime, to close out his day. And he'll brief them on new things, what needs to be done. The project managers will also have meetings among themselves. And if you're wondering, all my project managers are in Indonesia. I think it is such a great country to hire from. Really great work ethic, smart people, just hard workers in general. Better than the Philippines, in my opinion. What else? They take meetings. And I can't really think of anything else that has to do with the structure of my company. I'll make a ton of other videos on this channel about like what tools I use, any other advice I have for how I hire my team. But for this video, I specifically wanted to talk about just how I actually structure the team so you guys can get like a visual representation of how a 50+ person media business is structured. Of course, your business might be different. It likely is going to be different. But even if you want to build out like a media portion of your company, which I think every company should have, it doesn't need to be like this big, right? It could literally just be like a portion like that, where you have one main person in the States or wherever you live. I think that's the right thing to do. Although you can get pretty good executive talent, executive team talent in countries like Indonesia. So one person like that, and then they manage maybe one project manager, and then that project manager helps with the other contractors like the video editors, thumbnail, what else? Yeah, I think that should be enough for most media businesses, and maybe some hosts if you don't want to actually be on the camera yourself. And that, you guys, is a terrific structure for any type of company that wants to pump out content. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for content, a lot of like details and things most people don't think about. So to have dedicated people helping with that is extremely useful. Anyways, that's how I structure my team at 50. I'm gonna be doing more videos just like this, super raw, uncut. And hopefully you guys got some value from this video. I will say, if you guys do want to hire overseas, if you do want to have profit margins this high, you guys can check out my other business. It's called Paired Recruiting. We're actually an overseas staffing agency that literally helps tons and tons of our clients find the top 1% of overseas talent. It's what I use to find a majority of my team, actually. And yeah, I'm a huge believer in overseas talent and hiring correctly and optimizing your team. And overseas talent can definitely do that. It's just a little bit hard to find them yourself. So that's why we offer this service. I'll have all the info down below. Hope you guys got some value from the video. And yeah, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more raw videos just like this where I talk about business things. And I really hope I can give you guys as much value as I can on this channel because yeah, teaching is one of my passions for sure. Business is one of my passions, and to combine them with video, yeah, really excited. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.